Heartwarming moment. Millionaire discovered little girl's life-changing act for her baby brother. In the quaint town of Maple Grove, a sound reverberated like a gentle call to arms. It was the soft cry of Lucas, just 6 months old, rousing his mother, Jenna, from the remnants of sleep. Tears stung her eyes not from fatigue, but from an overwhelming mix of love and sheer frustration. As she lifted him from the crib, the weight of financial struggles pressed down on her heart like a heavy stone, a weight she bore in silence. She had already worked through 2 jobs that day, her mind racing with worries about the growing stack of medical bills for Lucas's life-saving medication. Jenna's resolve to create a better life for her 2 cherished children fueled her, even as darkness clawed at her spirit. Just when Jenna's world felt like it was closing in, a new face appeared in Maple Grove. James. A businessman used to the fast-paced life of the city, he had arrived with dreams of investing in this small community, dreaming of giving back. What he didn't realize, however, was the deep economic wound that festered within its borders, slicing through families like Jenna's. One sunny afternoon, at the town park, an extraordinary scene unfolded. 8-year-old Mia, Jenna's spirited daughter, stood with her arms piled high with cherished toys. "Please, they're just toys, but my baby brother needs medicine. I'll trade them for donations." Her innocent determination struck James deeply, pausing him mid-step. The simplicity of her words hung heavily in the air, and something ignited in his heart. Curiosity piqued, James approached, his heart racing. He wasn't prepared for the profound story he was about to uncover, one of quiet struggles and monumental sacrifices that Jenna had made. As he learned about the depth of her challenges, the contrast between their lives became strikingly clear. James's soul stirred. He recognized the privilege he carried and felt a growing responsibility to use it for good. Unbeknownst to him, he was being forced to confront his own biases about wealth and what it meant to truly help others. Meanwhile, the townspeople of Maple Grove reacted. Some rallied with generous hearts, drawn by Mia's bravery, while others scoffed, dismissing the family's plight as undeserving. Observing this, James stood in the middle of this moral crossroads. Could money really solve the problems of those in need? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. Fueled by a newfound determination, James decided to host a fundraiser to help Mia's family, an audacious move that ignited heated discussions in the town. Opinions clashed about class divisions and the meticulous worth of compassion. The very fabric of what it meant to live in Maple Grove was poised for upheaval. As the day of the fundraiser approached, Jenna felt a flicker of hope amidst the uncertainty. Would this gesture encourage the community to rise together in harmony, or would it only serve to magnify the divisions among them? The air crackled with anticipation, and whispers filled the streets. The question lingered: could compassion triumph over prejudice? How would the community respond as they braced themselves for a moment that could forever change their lives? The day of the fundraiser dawned bright and clear, with rays of sunshine spilling over Maple Grove like a warm embrace. Excitement buzzed in the air, but beneath it lay a current of anxiety. Jenna stood in her kitchen, pacing as she washed the dishes from breakfast. She tried to shake off her worries, but each plate felt heavier than the last. Today meant a chance at hope, yet the fear of disappointment gnawed at her. Mia, with her cheeks flushed from enthusiasm, readied her little banners, each one decorated with sketches and stickers. "Look, Mom, I drew a picture of you and Lucas. And this one is for Mr. James." Jenna smiled through her tears, pride swelling in her chest for her daughter's boundless spirit. Even as heaving thoughts of the possible outcomes consumed her, Mia's eagerness was a bright flame against the looming shadows. Meanwhile, James was busy setting up at the park, the heart of the community. tables lined under fluttering decorations that danced with the wind. He had rallied support from local businesses who donated everything from baked goods to crafts. Yet as he glanced over the preparations, doubts began to creep in. Would the community really show up? Would they put aside their differences if only for a moment? As people began to filter into the park, their mutual hesitation was palpable. Groups formed, whispering and pointing. Some offered their warm smiles, while others wore scowls, eyeing the extravagant spread. James caught snippets of conversation, the weight of the judgment inexplicably heavy on him. What's in it for him? Why should we help them? It was clear that this fundraiser might not just help Mia's family, but also shine a light on the deep-seated divides that plagued the town. Feeling a knot in his stomach, James took a deep breath and stepped to the microphone. "Thank you all for coming," he started, his voice steady, yet trembling with vulnerability. He shared Mia's story, relaying Jenna's sacrifices and struggles without embellishment. As he spoke, he noticed the crowd shift, nodding heads, hushed murmurs, and even tearful eyes. The humanity of the moment broke through the defenses many had built around themselves. When Mia took the stage next, the crowd sat spellbound. "I love my baby brother, and I just want to help him," she declared, holding out her toy for all to see. "These toys are special because they bring happiness, just like the love I have for Lucas. But he needs medicine to stay healthy." Her words were simple yet pure, piercing through the barbs of skepticism that had frayed the community's fabric. A hush fell, then came the sound of soft weeping. Someone in the back shouted, "You're brave, Mia." Another voice called out, "We're here for you." The atmosphere shifted, the barriers slowly crumbling as empathy replaced judgment. Just as hope began to bloom, Jenna felt a flicker of courage ignite within her. Perhaps this moment might awaken something deeper, a common bond beyond hardships. She stepped forward, her heart pounding, ready to share her truth. As the crowd quieted down, she took a deep breath, but one thought lingered in her mind. Was she truly ready for the vulnerability this moment demanded? The crowd leaned in, awaiting the words that would shape the course of this small town. What would Jenna disclose, and how would it change everything? Jenna's breath hitched in her throat. The microphone felt cold against her palm, like a jolt of electricity surging through her. She stood there, her heart racing, a whirlwind of emotions cascading through her. Fear, hope, and an overwhelming desire to be heard. She began, her voice trembling slightly. "I want to thank you all for being here today." She searched the crowd, spotting familiar faces, friends, neighbors, and even those she had barely spoken to. "This means more than I can express." The crowd waited. She took another breath, this time deeper, centering herself. "For those who don't know me, I'm Jenna, Mia's mom. And today is about our family. But it's also about community." Jenna captured the gaze of a few key people who seemed captured by her words, urging her on silently. "Mia and I have faced a lot these past few months. Losing a job, struggling to make ends meet, it's been hard, harder than I ever imagined. But through it all, we had each other." Just as she thought about stopping, about keeping the walls firmly secured around her heart, memories of sleepless nights and worry flashed before her eyes. She felt at the warmth of the struggle that had only drawn her and Mia closer together. "Lucas," she said, her voice cracking, "my baby boy needs medicine," and without it her voice fell to a whisper. "I can't let anything happen to him." Tears brimmed in her eyes. As if sensing her vulnerability, Mia reached for her hand. Jenna squeezed it, drawing strength from her daughter's warmth. "I want to do better for him, for all of us, and I thought maybe, just maybe, this fundraiser could help." The response was muted at first, a collective breath held in anticipation. But then came a series of small murmurs, voices lifted in quiet promises of support. "Every cent you give today brings us one step closer to Lucas getting better," Jenna continued, emboldened by the soft sounds of encouragement. "And not just for us. If we can find something positive in our struggles and give back, I know we can mend the rifts in this town too." As she scanned the crowd, she saw shifted expressions. Some were nodding, others wiping their tears. "Your kindness is a lifeline," I can't change what happened to us, but if together we can build a network of hope, we might fix more than just our wounds. Cheers erupted, voices rising. We're with you, Jenna. You're not alone. The warmth spread like a stream of light through the park. For the first time in months, hope seemed tangible. Deep in her heart, Jenna felt a shift, a connection to the very community she feared had abandoned them. But amid the unity, a cloud still loomed. What if the support was too late? Would it be enough? Those thoughts crept back in, taunting her. Thank you for believing, she concluded, feeling light despite the weight still hanging quiet in her chest. Let us make a difference together. With that, Mia jumped in excitement. Can we play games now? Laughter erupted. The tension lifted, replaced by playful chatter and joy. People lined up by the tables laden with treats, and smiles spread across weary faces. But Jenna's heart still danced between hope and fear. She looked over to where Lucas was being taken care of, a frown settling back in place. Would this moment last? Underneath the vibrant colors of the banners Mia had designed, Jenna caught a glimpse of movement, someone approaching her, heavily limping but determined. Jenna's breath caught. It was someone from the past, a face she thought she'd never see again. What had brought them back? The community began to glow with new energy, but seeds of unresolved history sprouted right beside it. As she stood there, torn between past hurts and present joys, a single question echoed in her mind. Would this reunion be a blessing or a burden? The crowd was a mix of excitement and commotion, laughter bubbling like a fountain. Jenna squinted through the sunlight, trying to make sense of the familiar figure approaching. It was Daniel, her estranged brother. Her heart thudded in her chest, a chaotic blend of longing and apprehension swirling inside her. Jenna, Daniel said, his voice catching in the wind, almost drowned out by the playful shouts of children. He halted a few feet away, his eyes searching hers, a vulnerability painted across his face. The last time they had seen each other had been nothing but sharp words and bitter memories. What are you doing here? Jenna's words slipped out before she could stop them, laden with confusion. I heard about the fundraiser, he replied, glancing over at Mia, her cheerful chatter enveloping the atmosphere like a warm hug. I wanted to help. Jenna took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. She wrestled with a storm of emotions, years of hurt, mixed with a flicker of hope. Help? After all this time? Memories flooded back, their childish squabbles, the day he left town for good, and every unspoken word since then. I'm sorry for everything, he said, his jaw tightening. Family means something, and I messed up. He shifted on his feet, struggling under the weight of his own remorse. But I'm here now. Can we start over? Jenna held his gaze, the warmth of the community buzzing around them, feeling almost far away. Her heart nudged her toward forgiveness, but could she really open that door? Behind them, cheers erupted again as Mia, unfazed by the tension, darted into the crowd. She waved her arms, drawing everyone into games and laughter, a symbol of innocence and hope all rolled into one. Jenna glanced back towards the joy, feeling a pull, but her brother's presence encapsulated all the pain and confusion they had buried. Daniel, I don't know if you can just come back, she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. It's not that simple. I know, he admitted, his expression shifting to one of deep regret. But I want to try. I need to make this right for you and Mia, and even for Lucas. The mention of Lucas struck deeply. Jenna's heart ached at the thought of her son's struggles, at the weight of the burden they all carried. If there was one thing she learned through pain, it was that support came in many unexpected forms. But did it come in the form of someone she had long wished to forget? Can we at least talk? Daniel pressed, desperation creeping into his voice. I want to help however I can. I've had some success. I'm not the same boy who left, I promise you that. Jenna's thoughts spiraled. The idea of reconciliation danced in front of her, enticing yet daunting. She looked toward Mia, still laughing, her joy infectious and innocent. Maybe a part of healing could be built on the connections they were creating today. But just as Jenna pondered the future, heavy footsteps disrupted her thoughts. A figure emerged from the throng, a woman with a powerful presence, scanning the crowd like she meant business. Jenna instinctively felt the electricity in the air change. Who was she? And why did she seem to have her sights set directly on the makeshift stage? Jenna, Daniel's voice pulled her back from the brink of uncertainty. What if this is the moment we both needed, a chance for us and for Lucas? Jenna's mind raced while her heart beat loudly in conjunction. Was it the right moment to embrace the past? As the mysterious woman continued her approach, Jenna felt a tug of unease. What was coming next, and would it shake the fragile ground they were building? Would this be the moment of reckoning or the dawn of new beginnings? Jenna could almost feel the weight of Daniel's words hanging in the air, a thread of hope weaving through her uncertainty. Just as she was about to respond, the woman strode closer. Her confident posture commanded attention, and the playful sounds of laughter began to fade into distant echoes. "Excuse me," the woman said, her voice clear and authoritative. It caused Jenna to glance over her shoulder, momentarily breaking her connection with Daniel. Who was this uninvited person, and what did she want? "Are you Jenna?" the woman asked, locking eyes with her. There was no mistaking the urgency etched on her face. "Yes," Jenna replied, hesitantly. "My name is Lydia." The woman introduced herself in a tone that bordered on serious. "I'm here from the Charity Oversight Committee. We received some concerning reports about the event activities." Heart-pounding, Jenna exchanged a quick glance with Daniel. He looked as perplexed as she felt. What could be concerning about their little fundraiser? "Reports?" Jenna echoed, a lump forming in her throat. "What do you mean?" "Seems there might be some mismanagement of funds," Lydia continued, her gaze unwavering. "I need to know if everything happened above board. If not, the event could face serious repercussions." A wave of dread washed over Jenna. Tonight was supposed to be about healing, about bridging gaps. Instead, it felt like a storm was brewing, waiting to engulf them all. "Those accusations are baseless," Daniel interjected, stepping protectively closer to Jenna. He was visibly agitated, shadows of their shared past swirling around them like ghosts. "We've worked hard for this." The smile faded from Jenna's face as the weight of Daniel's previously offered support now felt precarious. Would he be pulled into this storm just as she was beginning to see the glimmers of hope? "I'm sure it's misunderstandings," Jenna murmured to Lydia, her voice barely rising above a whisper. "We've put our hearts into this. Can we clarify this without a scene?" "I'm here to investigate," Lydia asserted matter-of-factly. "You must understand the seriousness of allegations like this." Jenna felt a tightness in her chest as she glanced back at the crowd. Mia was still smiling, blissfully unaware of the gathering clouds. Laughter rang out again, but it felt hollow now, lingering only in the air, taunting Jenna with how quickly joy could fade. "I still want to talk," Daniel urged, his eyes pleading. "Maybe this will help clear things up." "Please, Jenna," she turned slowly, feeling the weight of Daniel's gaze. He was reaching out to her when just moments before, the walls had felt almost insurmountable. But now, threaded through confusion and fear, there was a flicker of something, maybe a chance to reclaim what was lost. "This is too much, Daniel," she sighed, closing her eyes briefly. "It's too fragile right now." "In life, we often walk through storms to find sunshine again," he replied softly, his voice thick with emotion. "Don't shut that door on me." As tears prickled her eyes, making her vision blur, it felt monumental. Trust was one thing, and choice was another. Could she really let their history slip away again? Just as she teetered on the edge of decision, Lydia stepped between them, clearing her throat. "I'll need both of your cooperation. The sooner we figure this out, the better." Jenna felt a shiver run down her spine. Was today meant to repair broken bridges or dismantle them forever? "Jenna," Daniel said, gently taking her hand, "let's face this together. No more running." It was a precarious proposition, standing on this unpredictable precipice. But as Jenna glanced back at Mia's laughter, she knew one thing for certain. They had to stand together this time. What new storm awaited them, and would the bonds they were rebuilding hold firm against it? Jenna drew a deep breath, the air thick with tension as Daniel's grip on her hand tightened. She sensed the crowd's curiosity, their eyes dancing between the trio Jenna, Daniel, and Lydia. Whispers fluttered like restless butterflies. She could feel their judgment, a weight heavy on her shoulders. "I don't want this to become a spectacle," Jenna said, glancing at Lydia. "Can we talk somewhere private?" A nervous edge crept into her voice, but she fought against it. Lydia considered for a moment, her stern demeanor softening just enough for Jenna to take hope. "Very well. Follow me," Lydia replied, turning on her heel, her heels clicking purposefully against the polished floor as she led them to a nearby side room, away from prying eyes. Once inside, the space was small but intimate. The soft light cast warm shadows that felt comforting, yet Jenna couldn't shake the chill that clung to her. The door clicked shut behind them, isolating them from the outside world, leaving only their tangled emotions hanging in the air. Lydia wasted no time. "I need full transparency. If there's anything wrong, now is the moment to disclose it," she said, pulling out a small notebook and pen. "Before we get into this, can you tell us what exactly you've heard?" Daniel asked, his protective nature surfacing. Jenna admired his strength, but doubt crept back in. Would honesty strengthen their resolve or shatter the barely repaired shards of trust? Anonymous reports claimed discrepancies in ticket sales and donations, Lydia said, her pen poised. "Large sums seem unaccounted for. The charity's reputation is on the line, and I need to get to the bottom of this." "No one is trying to scam anyone," Jenna said fiercely, her heart racing. "We organized this event to help people, not to hurt them." "Then prove to me that that's true," Lydia replied, her eyes scanning both of them. "Show me your records, tell me how the funds have been used. It's crucial that you provide full disclosure to clear this up." Jenna felt Daniel's glance, a silent pact exchanged. Together, they were stronger. She could feel the flickers of determination igniting once more. "We'll cooperate," Jenna affirmed, her voice steadying. "But trust goes both ways. If we're laying it all out, you need to assure us this is genuinely about clarity and not just following a lead." Lydia frowned, but there was a hint of respect behind her eyes. "I assure you, my only goal is to ensure the charity gets the spotlight it deserves and that our community isn't left in the dark. I've seen how genuine efforts can be sabotaged by misconceptions." Jenna took a deep breath. Was Lydia an ally, or just doing her job? "We'll bring everything here. The records, receipts, everything to clear this up." Daniel's expression was a mix of gratitude and determination, a healthy flicker of hope that shot through him as he nodded in agreement. "What will happen if you find something?" Jenna asked, her heart racing at the thought. Would they risk everything or emerge stronger? Lydia paused, a softening in her stance. "If everything checks out, I'll put my name behind you. But if not," she let her words hang heavy in the air. Their future felt too uncertain. Suddenly, the crowd noise swelled just outside the door, a wave of laughter crashing against the solemnity of their gathering. Jenna's thoughts spiraled. Would this be the moment when they'd either restore their community's faith or tear their mission apart? The pressure hung close, curling around her like a vice. As Jenna and Daniel began to process the implications, their gazes met steadfastly. They both knew the road ahead was rife with potential pitfalls and that trust was a fragile, risky dance. "Whatever happens, I won't let go," Daniel vowed softly, his eyes fierce with resolve. Her heart swelled at the sentiment, but doubt again crept in. They stood on a precipice, the winds of change threatening to sweep them away. Could they navigate this storm together, or was this the moment that would define their futures irrevocably? And just as those questions hung in the air, the door swung open, revealing a flustered Mia, eyes wide and a sense of urgency radiating from her. "You won't believe what I just found out." What revelation could she possibly bring that would change everything in an instant? Mia stood there, breathless, her chest rising and falling like a wave. The door creaked open wider, sunlight spilling into the small room, illuminating the anxious faces of Jenna and Daniel. Lydia raised an eyebrow, her pen hovering above the notebook, clearly annoyed by the interruption. "Mia, what is it?" Jenna asked, her voice a delicate thread of urgency woven with curiosity. Mia stepped inside, closing the door firmly behind her. It's about the funds and how they've been used. I stumbled upon something you all need to see. Her eyes glimmered with a mix of excitement and fear. Spit it out, Mia. Daniel's impatience broke through, curiosity prompting him to step towards her. Mia hesitated for a moment, eyeing Lydia as if assessing whether she could share everything. But the weight of revelation pressed heavily on her. I found receipts that show money was funneled to buy toys and clothes for children in the hospital. But there's more. It's not just donations to the charity, it's— Go on, Jenna urged, gripping Daniel's hand tighter. It's connected to someone in your organization. A former volunteer. They were using this charity to hide their own wrongdoing. Mia bit her lip, glancing at Lydia, whose stern demeanor had shifted to one of guarded interest. Which volunteer? Daniel's voice sliced through the tension, demanding clarity. I don't have an exact name yet, but I saw the transactions clearly. Someone was taking advantage of our good intentions. Mia's countenance darkened with fear and responsibility. I was checking our old records to reconcile everything, and that's when I stumbled across it. It looks like they've been siphoning funds to manipulate the program for their own gain. Every word landed with a weighty thud. Jenna felt the floor beneath her seem to sway slightly. Her thoughts scattered, confusion mingled with outrage. No way. This can't be true, right? She could hardly breathe, the words feeling like jagged stones lodged in her throat. We started this to help people. Lydia, who had been quietly taking notes, finally looked up with a new intensity. We need to act quickly. If there's a rogue player, this could ruin everything we've worked for. Her eyes darted between Jenna and Daniel, strategic thoughts weaving clearly through her head. But how can we trust this? What if it's a setup? Daniel challenged, his voice firm. If someone's trying to turn us against each other, we need to tread with caution. Listen, Mia implored, her voice quaking slightly. I know this isn't easy, but I can't shake the feeling that if we don't do something now, it'll get worse. The charity and our names will end up buried under scandal and rumors. Jenna felt her heart thump in dread and resilience. We can't let that happen. We need to sort this out immediately. We have to find the truth. Then let us get those records, Lydia instructed, raising her chin. If there's a mole, we must identify them before they can cause any more damage. Jenna nodded, determination fueling her spirit as she turned to Daniel. He looked at her, his eyes filled with unwavering commitment. We'll face this together. We've already come this far. The darkness loomed, thick and hungry, but something bright shone through it. Jenna felt an electrifying conviction swell within her. This wasn't just about their charity anymore. It was about legacy, trust, and standing together in the face of any storm. As the three of them began to discuss the next steps, Mia's earlier excitement shifted to a resolute fear. There's one more thing, she said, her voice barely a whisper. The person I suspect, they know about you, Jenna. They've been watching. A chill slithered down Jenna's spine as dread pooled in her stomach. What else was at stake? Who was really pulling the strings? And just as that question stilled the room, knocking the air from their lungs, Jenna knew the fight was only beginning. What would it unearth next? Jenna's heart raced, as if it were caught in a tempest. The room felt small and stifling, the air pulsating with the unspoken weight of their circumstances. She could feel the heat from Daniel beside her, protective and fierce, but the dread hung over her like a dark cloud. They've been watching me. What does that even mean? Mia's eyes widened, her fear echoing Jenna's. If they're aware, they could move to erase any evidence or manipulate the narrative before we get the chance to uncover the truth. Lydia shook her head sharply, dispelling the sense of panic creeping into the corners of her mind. Focus. We need to find that information first. We can't let fear dictate our actions. Just then, Daniel's phone buzzed, startling everyone. He glanced at the screen, his brow furrowing. It's Leo. He wants to meet.
Now?
Jenna asked, her voice rising despite her attempts to keep calm.
Yes.
He thinks it's urgent. I don't know if I can trust him, but Maybe he knows something. Mia bit her lip. What if he is involved in this? It could be a trap. Daniel straightened, a flash of determination sparking in his eyes. We have to take that risk. If there's a chance Leo can help us get to the bottom of this, we owe it to ourselves and to everyone we're trying to help. Jenna nodded, though her stomach fluttered with uncertainty. Okay, but we need to be strategic. We can't just walk in blind. Let's agree on what we want to ask. We need a plan. Agreed, Lydia said, her voice a steady anchor in the chaos. Mia, can you review the records further before we leave? See if there are any more connections or possibilities. Sure, Mia said, though her voice was shaky. She looked around the room, gathering her strength. I'll dig deeper. I have to then let us do it, Daniel interjected, glancing at the clock. We don't have much time before Leo leaves his office. As they split up to prepare, Jenna felt her thoughts racing, a cacophony of worry and hope swirling within her mind. Could Leo have the answers they desperately needed? Or was he part of the web they were trying to untangle? When Jenna stepped outside, the morning sun felt sharper, as if the world was aware of her anxiety. She inhaled deeply, the scent of fresh grass and distant honeysuckle grounding her. She was reminded why they had all joined together in something bigger than themselves. They couldn't let someone else's betrayal ruin the good they were trying to achieve. Daniel approached her, his expression serious. Whatever happens, I'm right here. We'll get through this. She smiled weakly, grateful for his presence. Thanks. I'm just scared about what we might find. Fear's normal. Just remember, we're in this together, he replied, reaching for her hand. The warmth of his grip sent a jolt of strength through her. As they made their way to the car, a flicker caught Jenna's face in the crowd just across the street. Someone was watching, their gaze fixed on her. A chill shot through her, and when the stranger's eyes locked onto hers, she felt as if they had pierced right through her. Do you see that? She whispered to Daniel, pointing. See what? He asked, turning but not spotting anyone, but the feeling lingered, a gnawing apprehension that something was terribly wrong. Nothing, she said, shaking her head. But doubt began to tangle in her mind. Who was that person? Were they connected to the mysteries they had begun to unravel? As they drove towards the meeting, Jenna couldn't shake the sense that they were being played like pieces on a chessboard, and the game was far from over. What other dangers lay ahead in the shadows? Ready to leap into the open, with a heavy heart and a mind racing with possibilities, she whispered to herself, what if this is just the beginning? The car hummed softly as Daniel maneuvered through the bustling streets. Jenna's heart thumped in her chest, each beat echoing her growing anxiety. They were racing against time, but the air felt thick with worry, making every second stretch into eternity. What if Leo's just playing us? Jenna finally voiced, her thoughts spilling out. What if he turns out to be not who we think he is? Daniel glanced at her, concern etched in his features. I know the feeling. But we need to take chances if we want to get answers. We're close, Jenna. We can't back down now. A shiver fought its way down her spine. She wanted to believe him. As she gazed out the window, scenes of everyday life rushed past. People walked with purpose, lost in their own worlds. They seemed blissfully unaware of the chaos brewing beneath the surface of her reality. Minutes later, they arrived at a nondescript building tucked between larger, more imposing structures. The gray concrete loomed ominously, mirroring Jenna's unease. This is it? She asked, hesitating at the car door. Daniel squeezed her hand reassuringly. We can do this. Remember our plan. In that moment, her earlier confidence flickered back. She took a breath and nodded, determination simmering beneath her nervousness. As they stepped inside, the atmosphere shifted. The dim hallway felt oppressive, the faint buzzing of fluorescent lights underscoring their apprehension. They tread carefully, exchanging worried glances as they edged closer to the meeting room. The clatter of voices mixed with muffled footsteps exacerbated her anxiety, each sound amplifying her fear. Stay close, Daniel whispered, and she felt a rush of comfort wash over her. When they knocked, the door swung open, revealing Leo's familiar face. He looked guarded, but a flicker of relief crossed his features. "You made it," he said. Stepping aside to let them in, Jenna entered slowly, taking in the stark room. A table dominated the space, strewn with papers that hinted at secrets they desperately sought. Leo motioned for them to sit. "I appreciate you coming on such short notice," he began, his voice laced with urgency. "But we have limited time." "What do you know?" Jenna asked, her heartbeat quickening again. Leo hesitated, glancing back toward the door, as if ensuring they were secure. "There are people monitoring you. They know you're getting close. I've been hearing rumors about a plan to eliminate any threats. You three are in a very dangerous position." Jenna's stomach twisted. "What kind of threats? And why us?" "I don't have all the details yet," Leo replied, his eyes darting nervously. "But there's a connection to the records you've been reviewing. Someone is manipulating information to cover their tracks, and it leads back to you." A loud bang interrupted him, both Jenna and Daniel leaping from their seats. The door slammed open and a figure rushed in, shouting at the top of his lungs. "Get out! Now!" Jenna's pulse raced as Leo's eyes widened in shock, panic flooding the room. She looked between Daniel and Leo, the chaotic energy wrapping around her like a fog. "What is happening?" "We have to go," Daniel urged, and without waiting for an answer, he grabbed her hand, yanking her toward the exit. But as they bolted, Jenna's mind reeled. They had just touched the surface of something so much larger than themselves. She could feel fate tugging at her, urging her to dig deeper, even while the danger loomed closer. "Wait," she called, twisting back. But Daniel was already dragging her out into the unfamiliar hallway, the sounds of chaos rippling behind them. As they rushed down the stairs, Jenna felt a growing sense of urgency gnawing at her gut. What had Leo been on the verge of revealing before everything erupted? What other dark secrets were waiting to be uncovered? The moment they burst outside into the brightness of day, Jenna caught her breath, scanning her surroundings. And just as she thought they might be safe, she saw the stranger again, the same face from across the street earlier, lurking just outside the building. Fear gripped her like ice. "Daniel!" she shouted, pointing. "There he is!" Before he could turn, the stranger vanished into the crowd, leaving Jenna's heart racing, a storm of questions swirling in her mind. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. What had they unearthed, and how deep did the rabbit hole go? Huddled beneath the open sky, the weight of uncertainty pressed against Jenna. Who were they truly up against? The sun hung low over Maple Grove, casting long shadows that danced through the park, now alive with laughter and celebration. It was a day that had started frightfully, but as Jenna stood before the crowd, with her hands steady beside Daniel's, she felt a sense of determination pouring through her like a cool breeze on a hot day. They had faced storms, and now, the skies seemed to clear. They began to speak about the mysterious figure that had been watching. A troubling weight loomed over them, but Jenna felt that confronting their fears was the only path forward. "We need to stay vigilant," she said softly but firmly, her eyes scanning the assembly. "We've come too far to let shadows from our past or present dictate our futures." Daniel held her gaze, a fierce spark in his eyes. The crowd had grown again, drawn to the warmth of community that had kindled hope amidst turmoil. There, under the colorful banners Mia had made, Jenna shared their journey. "We didn't just come together for us," she said, gesturing to the children laughing nearby. "We're here for every family in need, every person who feels lost. Let us harness this moment and rise together." The cheers grew louder, acceptance and unity sweeping through like the wind, lifting spirits. The doubts that had swirled before now seemed trivial next to the importance of community. As Jenna continued, she noticed faces that once wore scornful expressions now beaming with validation. This was the very connection they had yearned for. "Life may throw curveballs, but we stand as one," she declared. As she scanned the crowd, she spotted familiar faces. Neighbors, who once hid behind walls of judgment, now cried with shared understanding. "This is our chance to build something greater than ourselves." Emboldened by her words, Daniel took the microphone. Let us not just support each other today, but commit to a future where no one feels alone in their struggle, he said. Together, we can ignite change. Every word echoed off hearts, restoring a sense of hope where pain had thrived. Just then, a commotion rippled through the crowd. The figure who had haunted Jenna's thoughts emerged, a woman, Lydia, with a fierce determination reflected in her eyes. She stepped forward, a newfound energy radiating from her. I'm here because I want to support you all. I arrived late to this movement. The accusations against the fundraiser? They were false. I've investigated further, and I want to clear your name, she announced, eliciting gasps followed by a wave of renewed cheer. Let's clarify what truly matters, preserving the spirit of this community. Jenna felt a wave of relief wash over her. Amid uncertainty, here was a chance to unite fully, to heal together. Gratitude to you, Lydia, she said, her heart swelling. Let us eradicate any lingering doubts and start anew. Together. As they moved to finalize details of new initiatives, donated goods for those struggling, medical support for families like hers, the horizon seemed brighter. The fear of the unknown faded as the community rallied around new ideas. In those moments, Jenna realized something profound. Healing was not just about questioning the past, but celebrating all the steps taken to face it. With hands joined together, her heart burst with a warmth she had been missing. With Lucas safe at home and Mia drawing bright futures in crayon colors, Jenna understood their family would be okay. They had already begun cultivating bonds stronger than blood. With Daniel, they were turning fragile roots into a mighty tree that would weather any storm. The laughter bubbled back up as the day unfolded into a festival of reconnecting with neighbors and friends. Hope won out, and Jenna felt tears of joy paint her cheeks, a radiant smile breaking free. Didn't T-Connection always have that power? This community was resilient together. They could overcome anything. The promise lingered in the air, a sweet whisper of possibility. Now remember, Jenna pointed out, catching the group's attention one last time. This is just the beginning. Let us commit to support, uplift, and connect, not just for our own, but for everyone in Maple Grove. As hands joined, hearts united, and with laughter resonating through the park, Jenna felt free, truly free for the first time in a long while. Listen up, fabulous fans. This is the moment to show your support. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you won't miss the next exclusive stories that are bound to inspire you. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your thumbs are the fuel that keeps us going. Comment your reactions and feelings about this incredible ending, and let the world know how it touched your heart. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who so need to see this transformation. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting us through these actions.